Okay, so I love movies a lot, and anytime I watch movies, I always get spiritual undertones that I only keep to myself. But now I'm making videos, so I guess I get to share them. So this movie is Severance. It's on Apple TV. If you've not watched it, if you've watched it, this video will make more sense to you. But if you've not watched it, I'll still explain it in a way that you would understand it. So, in this movie, they kind of separate their brain into two, and there's a version of them that goes to work, and there's a version of them that lives life outside, outside in the outside world. Yeah, and none of them have like memories of each other, and the concept made me think about like the parallel we have with our higher selves and the versions of ourselves that have everything we want. But the whole concept of higher selves is it's not the way people think. Like it's the way people think, but it's not the way people think. But I said once that a lot of us, like every version of us exists, but we're all separated by frequency, yeah. And so yeah, our higher selves will be versions of us that want what we have, but it goes higher and higher and higher and higher to the extent that there's a version of us that wants to live life in an outside planet. So that is how we have versions of us that are aliens, versions of us that are angels, versions of us that are demons, even up to versions of us that are so close that they can merge back with source. Yeah, that's why I see it. Um, so the versions of these two are the versions of them are at work is basically a newborn baby that just woke up one day and is being told to work on some mysterious and important files. But basically, it's a baby just walking, you understand? And slowly he gains consciousness. And it made me think, what if we send versions of ourselves to humans to be humans, and there's another version of us that is more aware than us, that is more aware that, oh, I sent a version of myself down to become a human. You understand? So I was thinking, what if it's like that? And I also thought, what if the parallel of like okay, so this let me I don't know if the pointing works. The first guy with the suit, his name is Mark, yeah. Mark in while developing his consciousness ends up becoming like a teenager basically, falls in love, has sex for the first time, first two times, and when he the version of himself, the higher version of himself, which is the version of himself that wants what he has, like another version of himself, like that wanted what he had, like told him, let's merge. Okay, let me digress. Like I also believe that when we want some like we merge with the version of our higher self that has what we want consciously or like subconsciously, you understand? And that is what people call quantum jumping, timeline jumping, all that shit. Yeah, and when you're merging with the version of yourself that wants what we have, you are going to have, for instance, now the lower, let's say the lower version, there's no lower or higher, but the lower version, for explanatory sake, the lower version will basically come with his own doubts and stuff. That's why when we're going to solve, like when we're going higher, it's your job to heal the version of yourself that has doubt and all that stuff. Because while you're measuring the higher self, you might have even merged with the version of yourself like that has everything you wanted already, but you're still dealing with thoughts from the lower version. You understand? Yeah, yeah. That could have already happened to you. You don't even know. And the reason you are maybe going through life even with those doubts and still going after stuff you want is maybe you already the higher version of yourself. You understand? Did I digress too much? Okay. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Okay. So Mark, yeah, was he okay, it's still a sci-fi movie in the end, though, even if that's spiritual undertones to me. The storyline is this Mark guy, that's the first guy, his wife is down there with him, but he doesn't know because the version of their self himself down there does not have the memories of him and his wife, because it's even because his wife died that he came down to. Okay, I guess this is a breakdown of Mark. Yeah, maybe I'll do a character if you guys want. I don't know if I will not know if you guys want. I'll do it rather. Like, I like yapping. Um. Okay, so the version of him down here has his wife basically. Yeah, and he's trying to merge with the version of himself down here to free his wife. You understand? But bro doesn't understand. You understand? Like bro is still a child. Like he doesn't even know who the woman is. Why would he save her when he already has his girlfriend down here? You understand? So it made me think about how when we are going after the stuff we want, we get thoughts from like past version of ourselves convincing us that we know what we want, you understand? Because part of this movie, what they do is they basically divide the brain into two frequencies, and one frequency is only accessed on the cerebral floor, you understand? And yeah, I should talk about this. Um, I talked about how we can merge with higher version of ourselves and what we want, and that is what mindfulness does actually. Staying still and staying present. Um, when you meditate as well, you are merging two parts of your brain because my theory that we send a version of ourselves down here to experience this reality as humans. It makes sense because we separate our brain. We're already experiencing one part of our brain. You understand? That is why the hemisync people, when you listen to hemisync audio, you start seeing visions and shit like that because you are using both sides of your brain now. You understand? Because even in the movie to reintegrate them, like because somehow the outie was able, the person inside was able to because they were pressing them though because they are children and they made them start worshiping one thing like that, which had the same on tones on earth. You understand? Because in the movie they are like um people that were looking after them, you understand, monitoring them and trying to make sure that they stay down and all that shit. Okay, yeah. So what was I talking about? Okay, so they thought that if they merge it, if they send message to the outside version of themselves, they'll come and save them, you understand? So that's what they were trying to do. But the people that were able to help them merge the version of themselves that they don't remember from the office and the person that is outside had to do something called reintegration. And reintegration, the way they explained it basically was syncing two different waves that are separate that you can experience on the server floor and outside together, help you merging the memories together, you understand? That's why sometimes you like get flashes of yourself having the things you want, you understand? Because you are merging, you understand? So that's why it's good to incorporate practices like mindfulness, listening to those hemisync shit, um, going in nature, like anything you can to sync your brain together so you get what you want out of life. I'll do those other episode people.